welcome to Voyager Drive. This is a bit unexpected really. You can see the builders are on site and they weren't actually meant to start until week after next, so it's a brilliant surprise to see them actually working away. And it's a Saturday as well, which is even better news. It's definitely the right sort of work ethic I was looking for in a builder. So I bought this site just over a year ago now, and to be honest, I thought I was going to be living in a house in it by Christmas at least, and it looks like it's might be living in a house just by this Christmas coming. My search for somewhere to live in New Zealand started off in Auckland, an apartment. I just got fed up with looking at these tiny little rabbit hutches. I needed some space, so and also the price as well. And then I started looking at a fair bit further out at units, and it got to the point, you know, the units were almost a certain price where I felt I could build a house for that price. I was a bit wrong there, as you'll find out probably later on in this journey. I thought I'd keep a video blog of my experience here, mainly because in the past when I've done renovations on houses, I haven't properly documented through photos, usually because I'm quite glad to see the back of the old house, but then I've regretted it when being unable to show people the transformation. So this time I'm going to do it properly. I'm going to attempt to do some regular video blogs, not just for my own reasons, but also to let other people back in the UK know how I'm getting on as well. I know there's a few interested parties back there who are keen to see the progress, maybe even keen to see if the place is ready for them to stay as well. So, Gulf Harbour. Okay, let me just tell you a bit about Gulf Harbour itself. It's a funny old place. It's stuck right out on the end of a peninsula. Someone decided to make Australasia's biggest marina. I think it's actually the second biggest marina in the Southern Hemisphere. But because it is out on a peninsula, it's a bit of a pain in the arse to drive all the way to Auckland. However, one of the reasons I bought here is because they actually have a ferry terminal down there, and the ferry takes about 45 to 50 minutes to get to downtown Auckland, which that versus the traffic is definitely a good option. The ferry isn't running continuously at the moment, but as the population grows here, hopefully things will change. At the moment, it's a little bit full of families and retired people. Mind you, I'm getting on, so that might blend in well. It's also got a couple of golf courses. I don't play golf, but I think I could get into it. And also we've got a little marina village full of cafes and sort of bars and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a bit of a different lifestyle out here. Here's a little intro to Gulf Harbour and the surrounding area. QVT.
Welcome to Voyager Drive. Set across the water on the top harbour area of Hobbs Bay, this section boasts water views both east and west. A reserve immediately in front of the section ensures future privacy. Take comfort in the fact that this site has had a geotech report identifying good ground conditions. The site has already had a topographic and drain survey carried out, so you are one step closer in being ready to build your dream house. Just meters away from the site is a small beach with safe swimming for all the family. Down at the water's edge, there are many berths for boats of all sizes. The area is surrounded by quality housing and a safe and secure community. A few minutes walk away are the shops and bars of Gulf Harbour Village Centre. Nearby is the famous world-class golf course with its spectacular views. There is a direct ferry to downtown Auckland with 12 sailings per day. The journey takes approximately 50 minutes, or alternatively, it's a 45-minute journey by car. 96 Voyager Drive offers both the convenience of commuting to and from the city and the chance to enjoy a coastal lifestyle.
But a little bit about this section, the designs I had. First of all, I had my heart set on just trying to build as cheap as possible, and that would be using prefabricated buildings. So I found a company called Kifei Homes, which specialists making prefab homes, and that's where I started. I then started to look at all other sorts of suppliers, had some real promising conversations, but no, and a lot of agony in actually getting builders to get quotes back. One builder took 3 months to actually get a quote back, and for me that's a bit of a filter. If they're going to be rather, if it's going to take 3 months to get a quote back, what's it going to be like when actually I'm trying to get them to build, you know, or even if there's a problem with the build later on after they finished it. So they were quickly wiped out the scene, and often the quotes came back too expensive anyway. So I came full circle back to the prefabrication idea of Keith-Hay Homes, and then we hit a bit of a problem in that the developers decided to put the lamppost in the middle of the road there, and also the other end of the road to bring the prefabricated house in. Someone had planted lots of trees, so suddenly we couldn't physically get the house here. So there was an option of actually building the house on site, but of course then all your savings from the prefabrication go out the window. And then what I did find is a couple of contractors who could build on site for a little bit more than prefab, but what it meant is I could also have a degree of customization that was going to be a house that was going to be right for my needs. So it just seemed to make sense to go with those guys. And here's some graphics of previous designs that I mulled over, and eventually it came down to what worked best for the site and what I could afford, basically, mainly the latter. Okay, so finally I chose my contractor, and that was about October last year, and they drew up my plans. Already had some concept drawings done from a friend of mine who's an architect at work, and these guys took that concept plan and actually made it into working drawings. That was meant to be submitted before Christmas to catch the council before they go on their Christmas break to go for a building consent. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Frustratingly, I ended up driving the whole process, and it got submitted early February. Usually it takes about 20 days a month to go through building consent. The whole process ended up taking 3 months, so it's very frustrating. In the end, I nearly had to apply for resource consent, and it's only because I wrote a power letter to Auckland Council using my chartered surveyor qualifications as a bit of leverage there to say that I didn't think that the rule they were applying was really relevant in my case. So, and they actually bowed down to that, which is great, because that saved me another $4,000 or so, and it meant that we could really get things going with the build. At 11th hour, I was ready to go with a contractor I've been working with for some months, and then they found out what I did for a living. And they thought that maybe this wasn't such a good idea to go with a building surveyor, and they picked up I was already being quite picky about the build and the design. So I was trying to hold them to a contract where they would guarantee me a build within 6 months, and they only offered me a contract where they would build for 12 months, which was of course no good for me. I'm paying money, not only a rent but also a mortgage on the land, so each month that goes by is costing me a few thousand. So I found these guys who would be able to do it for a little bit less money, but also said 4 to 6 months, which is fantastic, and they were prepared to sign a contract that they'll be done within 6 months. If they go beyond that, they start paying me money in liquid applied damages, so that was great. Even better news, I come here this afternoon and they're already cracking on my work. It's great. They're meant to start the week after next, and here they are working away with the digger, levelling the site off where it needs to be level, because it is a sloping site. And the reason I picked the site is for the view. It's a view of water. That was on my tick list, but it is a south-facing slope, which for Northern Hemisphere people is not the right way to be. In the Southern Hemisphere you want to be north-facing to catch the sun. However, the north-facing slopes, not only were they more expensive, but they're in danger of being built out. You see across the valley there, there's lots of terrace of houses. And once they build those, they'll start infilling it with houses further down the slope. So you think you're getting a great view when you buy a section up there, but actually you're going to be built out in the next few months, and that's exactly what's happened to a neighbour across the road who's already selling up his house and moving because of that. So I've got a reserve in front of me, so it can't ever be built in. That's protected land. I might have trees growing up and blocking my view, but hopefully a bit of midnight pruning will sort that out. And bonus has got a little private beach down there, you might be able to see in the distance. And if I have any spare change left, somewhere to park a boat. I don't think it's going to be immediately, to be honest. It might be a few years before I have to wait for that. And then of course the ferry terminal I mentioned as well, so that's a real bonus. I think it's all for now. I've got my fingers crossed that everything seems to be going well finally, and things really seem to be cracking on, heading in the right direction. No doubt there's going to be a few of these video blogs where I'm going to be in tougher times, but I hope you look forward to watching these as much as I do with the build process. Bye.